and welcome back to Reaper Pro Tips with me, your host and disembodied hand Quindy, disembodied beard John, and I haven't looked at what our Korniko status is. Oh, hey, you have ears, I think. Do you have ears? Yes, ears! Woo! Kiki says woo! Right? You say woo! Kiki says, yay, Korniko, you have ears! I have ears too, she says. Oh, did you put your ears up? Good girl! There we go. You all get that, courtesy of Korniko. And sorry for my lateness. Like, it is the day before my trip, and my head is going to explode, I swear. Because I haven't been able to work on my packing or anything at all, and usually I'm, like, pre-staging. So, like, to get to the last day before the trip and, like, be... That's me. Oh my gosh. Blasphemous, huh? Ooh. Is he a pope? Oh no, I have no camera. Urgh! Guys, it's just, yeah, it's been rough with OBS and my camera lately, okay? It's been really freaking rough. Hold on. Like, I haven't done anything since yesterday. Let me see if I can add a, I'm gonna go offline for a second, guys. I'm gonna add a source, okay? Sorry for this. Yeah, this is really dumb. I haven't changed a single setting on my OBS, but it's been forgetting my cameras. So, hold on, well, maybe I can do it. Will it let me do it live? If it lets me do it live, you guys can be entertained by me grabbing my camera. Hold on. It's so stupid, seriously. Oh, there we go. All right, hold on. Boom. All right, we're giant. Now we're gonna get smaller. Smaller, small, small, big. Yay! Alright, there we are. More or less. Seriously, I've had to do this so many times, and it's not, and sometimes it forgets one camera, and sometimes it forgets the other one. Like, seriously. It's so dumb. Anyway, I shouldn't call it dumb, because then it's going to forget my camera again. Right? Right? All right. Let me just get this out of here. All right. I think we're ready. I think we're good. There. Here we are. Oh, Lord. Yeah, so it's that kind of day already. It is definitely that kind of day. I have so much packing to do. I at least have done laundry, so I don't have to worry about that, but I have to do a store run, and I have to, you know, because me packing for a trip is like packing for an army. It's like that. Because that's the way I am. Yeah, call it dumb on my behalf, Quindy. Thank you. Take the hit. Take the hit. All right. I realized that I was all so happy about, like, doing my turtles patterning, and I forgot the fact that I really need to highlight the blue-black, you know, duh. And so I'm going to pause and put in some highlights. It doesn't matter so much for these guys down here. You can see the shadows that pop in down here, but these are three-dimensional surfaces, and I should be highlighting them. Normally it would be so much easier if I had started lighter, because then I could just do some glazes to shade them, but because I started dark, I actually have to throw in my highlights. It's going to be a little bit more fraught. So yeah, you guys can benefit from my idiocy and see how I do this. It mostly involves very carefully painting around the areas I've already blocked in. So we were using our Black Knight liner, as I recall. Something like that. And I'll probably grab a full puddle of that, and then I'm going to actually make a secondary puddle for my highlight. That way if I need to correct anything, I can. I know, right, Kuro? I don't so much, usually. It's kind of weird, but I wanted this color, and my brain was like, I want this color, and so it just painted it that color. It wasn't thinking ahead. It wasn't thinking ahead. It was braining. It was doing its own brain thing. Reaper Miniature sent you a 72mm Sophie to paint, and it turned out it was a resin print. The entire model didn't cure, and the plastic was an exterior shell. Wow. See, and the universe gave me really good dreams last night. I had a werewolf dream. It was super awesome. Then I had a weird people are trying to kill me dream, which I have those, but I don't have them so frequently anymore. But obviously it's stress. Like, my heart rate variability has been tanking, and like just the stress of the trip. And it's weird because I've been meditating and I don't feel too stressed. But obviously my body knows that a trip is looming, and it is just like, and my subconscious mind is like, you've been blocking this out very effectively, but we're going to like fix that by giving you a people are trying to kill you dream. I've had people are trying to kill me dreams since I was a kid. No, the werewolf dream was a separate dream. I wake up usually halfway through the night to use the restroom, and so the werewolf dream was pre-wake up, and the people are trying to kill me dream was post-wake up, and it was really a weird dream. It was actually probably pulling from David's the Blue Prince game, because it was like being in a really weird house where people were determined that you were never going to leave the house. And the house was really strange. You know, you probably just don't remember them, Zaku. That's really funny. A dream where you were a newly qualified doctor and your current boss kept on calling the hospital to get you back. So dream fulfillment. Yeah, you never remember them, yeah. Yes, I do, Turgeon. I have to hide the packing activities. So I'm going to be closing the bedroom door. I'm pretty much going to be pre-staging stuff, because I do leave stuff lying on the dresser and in the closet and on the bed regularly. So she won't know anything is different there. But when it comes to actually slipping it into the suitcase, I'll have to quietly close the door a couple of times while she's not in there with me and quickly pack things. And probably wait to do some of the stuff till after David gets home. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with werewolf dreams. They're always fun. All right, so a little bit lighter. I want to go just a little bit lighter with the next highlight. I don't think I'm going to need a lot. I want the shell. I mean, if the shell's going to be shiny at all, then it needs to go up another level. So you can get away with a very dull highlight on a very dull surface. But I want the option to go up a little more if this turns out to not be enough. So there we go. Good deal. But yeah, people trying to kill me dreams are always the stress dreams. Always an indicator that I am stressed. I spent a lot of my kid life pretty stressed because I was kind of an outsider, so. All right, grab a paintbrush. We definitely want our smaller paintbrushes today for this because we want to be able to get in between these. In fact, maybe I'll grab the Princeton. It's a skinny detail brush. Obviously, werewolves do not figure as predominantly in your life as they do in mine, Crowley. Obviously. I think about werewolves a lot. All right, let's get in focus. Focus. You want people trying to kill you? Do you like people trying to kill you dreams, or you just not have them, Kara? Well, that's very Kuroniko. So I want to lighten up some of these areas between my stripes. And I might have to just go lighter because trying for a subtle highlight really isn't working very well. Yeah, I might have to go lighter. All right, so it's good I mixed up the second highlight because it's actually going to be a primary highlight. So I want to paint over some of this dark wherever the light is falling. And if I kind of angle my camera, I can see kind of that there's a wedge of shadow, kind of like where I left it really in the design. So I have to highlight everything down to that. You just yearn for the void, I see. I had a childhood high school friend who yearned for the void. She ended up becoming an undertaker. Like, honestly, if there had been a person in our high school voted most likely to become an Undertaker, it would have been her. She was just fulfilling her destiny. So I'm placing in these highlights, and you can see how it's lightening that area up, as opposed to the... And it's lowering our contrast a little bit, but it's also making it look more organic and real. So luckily we didn't do much over here, so I can actually paint over some of this area with this color before I go in and do my freehand. So luckily I realized that I was making a problem for myself before it got too intensive. And the shell is facing upward a little bit here, so even the underside of this particular rise in the shell is going to get the lighter color just a little bit here. So you see the effect of the highlight. Yeah, I'm very susceptible about that, Kara. I'm too aware of my own mortality, and I don't like to think about it. I think most of us are that way, though. I like zombie dragons, though. Pretty much I can handle stuff if it's not too realistic. Like, in movies, I can handle comic book violence, or anything that's very fantasy. Like, I can watch Kill Bill, but I can't watch the opening to The Fugitive. Because if it's too realistic, it's too close to home. Now as I put this in, I can preserve some of the texture by making sure that I'm painting it, along the lines. Yes, Quindy, you love it. I know. You live in New Orleans. It's definitely your soul city. As long as it doesn't have anything to do with the void. All right. This is going to be a day where I run around like a chicken with my head cut off trying to finish everything. And this is going to be one of those vacations, I fear, that it's going to be more like Anne uses her time off to catch up on all the shit that she didn't have time to like keep up with in real life. Like my ad stuff that I need to be up on before I start my coaching for my marketing. All right, so leaving shadows in here. Now I can take a little bit of my darker highlight and make sure that I'm hitting a little bit of the texture here. So it's not like completely dark. And that'll mitigate that a little bit. I did go too light probably with these. Are you murdering people? No, you need to make Quindy a t-shirt with the phrase maggot mom on it and a picture of the cute little golden maggot. That's what you need to make Quindy. You can wear matching shirts at the con. Yes, correct. Well, that's actually, I talked about that briefly, Polly. If I hadn't started dark, like if I had started with, if I had painted the shell more in this color, it would be super easy then to just do a shadow glaze with this color, right? But I actually started dark, so, you know, yeah, so I'm a little bit screwed up there. But yeah, I could have done a glaze to shade. But then again, that would have impacted my little bits of orange and stuff too, so this is okay. It actually didn't take me long to correct that, and now I can go and do the lighter texture everywhere it's appropriate. I will have to work around these, but these are just sketched in, so I can easily fix them. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I know I saw you in the chat earlier, so I wondered why you'd missed it, but that's cool. Everybody does not sit here listening to me 100% while they have the stream running, I know. It only breaks my heart a little. It doesn't break my heart at all. That's fine. Go about your business, people. If it means you're giving us viewer numbers, we don't care. Okay, I care. I care just because I share my wisdom with you, and I like to think that someone's receiving it. But I know I always have a couple people. Quindy, for example, is a captive audience. Unless, of course, she has to put me on mute or walk away because of her actual job. It's not just a dump stat, I see. Oh, I need... As I highlight, I'm definitely losing my patterns here, so I am going to actually grab some white, just so I can reinforce them. Thank you, Quindy. You're a marvelous salve for my ego. I don't have much of an ego. You can't have much of an ego, like, when you stream on your own channel and you only get 18 people. Like, you know, you can't have much of an ego there. That said, I believe this month I officially sold my 1,000th copy of East of the Sun, specifically. Which makes me happy. But we can do better. We can do better. 1d6 brain cells to spare, yes. I think he'd be a great painter. He'd just dip his paws in some paint and watch what he does to your entire, like, surface of your life. I guess it depends on your tastes, right? He's like, I'm abstract, Mom, I'm abstract. Or, actually with SSC, maybe it's more surrealism. Maybe he goes for the surrealism. Yeah, I just needed to reinforce that. Yeah, I'm pretty happy about finally selling a 1,000th copy of EOTS. It's been, I can't believe it's been 3 years. A little over 3 years. But yeah, now with the 4th book about to come out, I think we can do better. So that's why I'm taking coaching, doing coaching stuff. I was recently reminded when I was watching a kind of an inspirational video that if you want to get really good at something, and this is why you all are here, right? Work with somebody who already is good at it and already has made all the mistakes. So I've decided to invest a chunk of money into learning marketing. Because with my writing, I feel like I'm already at a decent level and I'm just gonna like just work on getting a little bit better with every book. And I already kind of know what I want to work on. But with marketing, I'm like, you know. Like, I know how to set up an ad. Sometimes my ads do okay. Sometimes they don't. I have no idea. Like, I'm swimming in the void. The void is here again. Orange and yellow paw prints. So that sounds great. Orange and yellow are two of my favorite colors. Going to hang with my parents is like going to make me want a new car again, because my mom has a Subaru that she loves, and I really like it too. And I always have car envy when I go to visit, since I'm still in my old element. What I wouldn't give for a backup camera. Alright, so we're just going to reinforce our whites here. I did all this really fine and it's all great, but it's super kind of sketchy. Meaning it's not as strong as it could be, so if I put in the highlights on the shell, it's just going to disappear. So I'm just using my super skinny Princeton brush. My paint is almost too thick for it. Be out of my element. Haha. I did say that I wasn't going to give up that car until they'd have to pry it from my cold dead fingers, but in reality, although it is a wonderful dog car and a wonderful road trip car, part of me really wants a backup camera and the ability to plug my phone into my car so that I can listen to music or audiobooks or whatever without having an external speaker. So yes, I love my element. I'm very happy its trade-in value is still decent. But I've been thinking a lot about a new vehicle lately. You're grounded. Quindy, I don't think, is afraid of awkwardness. Probably depends on the type of awkward, though. Hey, Ulysses. Hey, it all counts. And Vinny, you're back. Good. Good. Hey, you found a store that has my books. Nice! Sweet! Where? Who has my books? Now I'm curious. A moth. Oh my gosh. Of course you're back. All right, cool. I never doubted. So yeah, so I'm just going through and I'm reinforcing this freehand that I did because I need to highlight it. And I was silly and I didn't highlight it, so now I'm having to paint my highlights in between all these tiny little freehand thingies. It's very silly. This isn't the kind of awkward that frightens you. Online superstore, yeah. Danish one. Cool. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I do have my books through Ingram Spark, and Ingram's does distribute them. And that would explain how they would get into a Danish superstore. That's pretty awesome, though. I'm happy to know that. Kind of makes my day. It's kind of like when I started out mini painting and I won a golden demon, 2 golden demons, and I was doing a lot of stuff on eBay, selling a lot of stuff for pretty high prices, like meeting my first fan who wasn't an American, understanding that there were people in France and Germany who liked my painting, who knew who I was and who followed me because they liked my painting. That was huge for my little brain. So having my books be in a Danish superstore is actually pretty awesome. It's the first step, right? It's the first step. Getting my books out there a little bit more. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Well, I've been working every day on the new book, so hopefully that sucker will be. I'm really gonna push to get it out, get it done, get the first draft done in August. Or by August. By the end of August, it has to be done. And August is already kind of a crammed month, but I'm determined. So I'm kind of sketching in between my lines now with this paler color. So this is the base color of the shell, and I mixed a first highlight and I mixed a second highlight. The second highlight is pretty much going on top of the areas that are bulging out, and this is going underneath. So when we look at the shell, we can see that each of these panels is bulging out a bit. You can see the light falling there. So the highlights that I'm putting on need to go on those bulgy surfaces, and the other ones can go down here for reflected light. So we're getting, just got to sketch in this stuff and we'll be good to go, and then we can do some glazing and, you know, bring out more of our colors and stuff. It's very soon. I know, it's soon. Well, once I get the rough draft done, I have to let it like sit for a little bit. Actually, I could probably go back to usually by the time I finish the book, I haven't reread the front part in, you know, a couple months at least. So then I can immediately go back and start the rewrite. And the rewrite usually is going to take a few weeks. So that brings us into September, which means my beta readers, then I throw it to my beta readers. And my beta readers will probably get it in October then. Unless I can like be a lot faster than I think. But I'm not, it needs to get out this year. That's all I care about. That was my like deadline for myself. It needs to get out this year. And November is still fall. So I'm happy, and it's still 2025. Although it will it'll kind of screw with my writing schedule a little bit. So we'll see what I can do. The betas may get it a little earlier. I may take some chances, not do as... it's possible that I won't need to do quite as bad of a rewrite. So the top part of this shell needs these lighter blue highlights. And if I leave a little bit of the darker streaks in there, it's okay because the shell, you know, it's got all sorts of patterning on it. So if I have a couple of dark lines, they're going to assume that's just the color of the shell. But yeah, this book needs to be done. And at least what'll probably save me is the fact that I've already written the first several chapters of North of the Wind, the next Spare Kings book. So even if I'm starting it a little later in the year than I normally would, I'm ahead on it, relatively speaking. Because I thought it was going to be the third book instead of the fifth book. But yeah, the sooner I can get out another book, I mean, the better everything gets for you as an author. There comes a point in, like, a lot of series, if a series is selling at all, there comes a point where it usually, you need to get a certain critical mass of books out. Once you have a certain number of books out, then the series is more likely to, like, suddenly get traction, right, in the readers, because a lot of people won't start a series that only has 3 books, right? They want to be able to binge. So some people it's 4 books, some people it's 6 books. Sometimes it matters like what the book is about. Like some books will just resonate more. But sometimes it's just having a certain amount of words available. All right, so there we go. So I've gotten that kind of mapped in. Now I want to go down here and paint these guys with the highlight. So I want to kind of situate the turtle and kind of look at it, and I can see the highlights a little better than you guys can. So I can sketch in, I'm going to take my dark highlight, the first highlight I did, and I'm just going to paint it where the highlights go, looking at where the lamp is falling. I'm going to keep, again, kind of in line with the shape of the surface, but I'm not going to be too precise with it. I just want to make sure I can see where the light is. Okay. Alrighty, that's better. So we're gonna just blend those in a little bit. Then I can bring in my lighter highlight, and then I can go and do my patterns. And I also need to do these little guys on the side here. So I will look at where the light's falling there. Some of them I'm pretty much going to block in with this dark highlight. And then down here, I want to kind of do a reflected light, so I'm going to catch more of the bottom. Underneath. So you can kind of see that. And it's pretty subtle, but then I can choose to accent it. I at least have marked it so that I can see it. And then I can refine it. But just blocking it in really rough, not worrying about blending or anything. Just making sure to highlight the parts that are going to be lighter with a basic highlight. Going to help me to imagine what's going on. Hey, Laura. Okay. Whew. This shell is something else. It's a lot. Yeah, this year has just been like, it's like this year has been like fleeing in front of me as far as like this book, and this book turning out to be more than 100,000 words is also part of the issue. All right. I'm gonna grab my lighter highlight. Yeah, we're working on it. I screwed it up because I forgot I really needed to highlight the shell before I started putting patterns all over it, Laura, so I had to go back and paint in between the patterns to highlight it. So then I want to get this one going along here a little bit. So that's the lightest highlight. We won't have much more of that because the shell is starting to curve around and underneath. So I am going to use a little bit of this light highlight to pick out these little plates. The tops of them, so they show up a little better. Yeah, I think the shell's going to be really neat when we're done. I'm happy with the pattern I chose. It seems very turtly. Very turtly. So by layering up those two highlights, you can see that I've actually started to suggest that texture. And then when I come in with my white, I can hit it pretty strongly. But I do need to make sure my white is really solid now, so time to start working with that. But yeah, my coaching with this, with the marketing guy is only 3 months, which is what makes it at all affordable for me. And so I really wanted his help with my launch of the new book. So I at least want to get the book in a good position so that I have his help like right before it. So if anything comes up, I can ask questions. All right, so just accentuating the white, making sure that it's really strong so that I have enough surface to paint the yellow and orange, the yellow and reddish colors over. But yeah, I do need to also take a break in there. I'm kind of thinking December, I never get any writing done anyway. So I'm thinking that while I'm waiting for notes to come back from the beta readers, all y'all, many of you already in the chat, I will be working on Queenmaker, getting a kind of a palette cleanser in before I have to work on North of the Wind. So if I can get it to you guys by the first bit of October or better, then I can spend October, November mostly working on Queenmaker. Yeah, this is such a nice model. Going to be sure to tell Jason at ReaperCon that I really like it, that I really think it's superior. So now we're down here, so we have to do our new designs. And now, thankfully, we have the appropriate color behind it. I just love the textures. The textures are so precise. He obviously spent a ton of time doing them. This doesn't feel like a 3D sculpted model. This feels like an organic model. And from what Bobby has mentioned about it, that takes a lot of work. So it's more than fun details. It's like labor of love as well, right? When you see all these beautiful textures and they're obviously not using a stamp, everything is very well sculpted, you know that a lot of work went into it. A stamp or a brush, I guess, if you're digital. Yeah, you can. But Bobby has said, Bobby Jackson, who's also a sculptor for Reaper, he was the first to pick up ZBrush of our sculptors. He has said that the problem with digital sculpting, it says that often it will not feel like a sculpt, like a miniature. It'll feel like a toy because it has no imperfections, it has no irregularities. Everything is symmetrical, right? So he's actually has gone back in and created like imperfections, tool marks, you know, the things that he would see in his own work. Like he's had to do that to make it stop it from feeling too plastic to him. For some models, it's just a little too perfect, and there's just a lot of like different texture in here and little subtleties that just tell me that Jason spent a lot of time on it. So what I got from that is that 3D sculpting can feel soulless if you let it. And making it feel more human is more work. And a lot of artists, because they're on deadline, you know, they're not going to be able to put in that work on every model. But a model that they really love, you can see it. Yeah, I mean, yes, but you know, when you're doing this for your job, Zeku, like you have a deadline, like it's very difficult to make yourself stop and do that thing. Even if you do love the piece, like you might just not have the time. You might have a deadline to hit, right? But these relief minis, they're usually something that Jason wants to do, and he's essentially saying, hey, you know, he's inspired to do it, and then he's like, I've got this relief mini to Ron, right? Or he's like, I want to do a relief mini for X. I'm halfway done with the sculpt. Here it is. So he's working more on his own time for a lot of these relief minis. For the first part, anyway. I mean, Jason's pretty confident at this point, I imagine, that Ron is going to say, yeah, let's do a relief mini. Reaper's got the infrastructure. They've done enough of them at this point. Yeah, Bobby has made the brushes and ZBrush have put the imperfections in. That's because Bobby's a freaking genius. Genius! That's why I'm a Bobby Jackson fangirl. I still am. All these years later. That man is a freaking genius. So I am going to come in with a shadow with my base color and add a bit of a shadow right here, because this is casting, this part of the shell is casting a shadow over the one under it. So I'm going to glaze that shadow in there to create that 3D effect. And you can see, like, as I continue to add the highlights and shadows in addition to the white sketchings, like you can see the forms like starting to feel like they have weight and mass. Oh, Reaper purchased, I think this is pretty evident, but I don't know if there was an official announcement. But Werner, I think, was just getting out of Freebooter, and so he sold Reaper. Kiki! 1 second. You get exiled one more time. Stop it. No woofs. But yeah, I think we got the IP, Val, for Werner's Freebooter stuff. Because Werner's worked with us for many years, worked with Ron for many years. And I don't think he wanted to keep up with the Freebooter stuff anymore. I love it because they're actually being remastered by Daryl. So they're actually, he's going in and, because they're being remastered digitally. So, like, he can take straps that weren't cut in really, really nicely, and he can, like, make them a little nicer. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Kiki. Kiki is like, there's someone outside. I don't know where they are, but they might be near us. Yeah, that's my dog. Okay, they did. You think that now, Val, but if you had started with Reaper when I started with Reaper, Werner was, like, doing a lot of our line. So Werner's style used to be very much a Reaper style. Then he got really into doing the Freebooter game and stuff for himself and, like, just did not have time for Reaper stuff anymore, so then he stopped doing stuff for us. Except when Ron would every once in a while, like, you know, convince him to. But yeah, that's Yeah, Daryl, he showed me what he was doing on one of the models that he had done, and he's essentially tightening stuff, you know, fixing stuff that's kind of off center or out of line. You know, all the flaws, right? So he's going in and he's like making the models just a little tighter, which is really awesome because they're good already. But yes, the glaze is the same shade as the base color because now I'm using that as a shadow. And I'm gonna actually go up here and I'm gonna add a little bit more water to that. I'm kind of mixing a glaze on the top of my palette, so putting the water down, getting this over here. It'll stay wet for a little bit. So then I've got that to show you the consistency. It's like that. And if I'm looking over here and I'm like, okay, I need a little bit more weight, I can glaze like up there to bring in just a little bit more over the white before I put the colors in. And maybe a little bit more down here. And that's all upward facing, so I don't necessarily want that. A little bit more under there. But yeah, so it helps give you that. Shadows are what add mass. They're what gives your model weight. They make things look solid. So the darker the shadow, the more solid the shape looks, and also the brighter the light appears. Yeah, glazing is magic. Glazing, if I had to pick like one technique to throw to the curb, it would not be glazing. I would probably never do another wash, but I would keep glazing. All right, so that's all looking really good. I like it. I'm gonna grab this. Now I can take my lighter color, my lighter highlight, and kind of like create a little bit of under reflected light down there. Yeah, without glazes, I would be a very sad Anne. My stuff wouldn't look nearly as good. Glazing is magic. Glazing is like friendship. So I'm just going to put a little bit highlights. Just a little bit of highlight on the bottom parts of these shells to suggest reflected light to bring out the details. Hey there, Sea Trial, how's it going? Glazing is friendship, yes. Yeah, glazing is definitely a must-have technique in my opinion. You can use it in a lot of different ways, but I think it's a must-have. Like whether you use it for doing your shadows, or you use it for shifting your colors, or you use it for, you know, creating value in another way, like adding highlight, more highlight strength. Whether you use it for blending your layers so that your stuff looks smooth even though you didn't paint it that way. I do that a lot. So you can see how now I'm coming in with this highlight color and I'm going to pick out the edges on these shells and it's going to make them stand out. So we're definitely at a very different place than where we started this model, where everything was just like the near black color and the white. And now everything feels more three-dimensional, right? So shadows are key. Shadows, this is what shading and highlighting does for you. Highlights are there to show the shape of things and to show the texture of things. And shadows are there to show the mass, the weight of things. Kind of making the outer part of the shell here a little rough and breaking it up a bit, just because it seems a little rough to me. I mean, I can't tell you, Shadow Raven. I have no idea. It could be either. Remember that I also tweaked some formulations when I was there. Some formulations that I had gotten out of line. And so it could just as easily be Benita working with adjusting those colors to be in line with my guidelines. And those could just be standard colors. Yeah, it could be either. Yeah, Werner was a Reaper look for a very long time. Until he started Freebooter. Yeah, like which would have been around 2012 probably. Or earlier than that, but he started to put a lot more of his time into it. So I'm just pretty much edge highlighting here. But as I come in and as I do some of the detailing on this, the edge highlights will kind of disappear. Oh, I need my air filter. It's starting to sniffle. I mean, clock and booty used to be a searchable term on the website. I mean, top secrets are just paint colors, right? Like, they're gonna, like, match or not match just like any other color. You aren't necessarily gonna know. You won't be able to tell, and this is why I tell you that I can't tell you. You won't be able to tell whether it's an oops on a top secret or an oops on a regular color. Like, there's enough colors that are similar to each other in our line. So I'm going to be honest with you and just tell you it could be either, but I can't tell the difference. Still is a search item. Take your meds, Quindy. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I should have said. Usually it was me always reminding Quindy to take her allergy med. Yeah, you almost missed Turtle Day, and we've gotten so much done, like we've talked about so much. That's okay, Marich. You can always watch the VOD if you want to. See, Michael answered your question because he's feeling nice. The blasphemous. Is SSC going to be an anti-paladin? Yeah, Daryl has done a fantastic job. Actually, it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while, Ulysses, because I'm off. Like, I'm not streaming tomorrow or Friday or Monday because I'm going to be going to my family reunion in Wisconsin, 2/3 of the way across the country from where I am. So I'm going to be out. So then when we get back, it'll be Tuesday will be Kid Adventurer, Wednesday will be Ghost Night, Thursday will be Sophie, Friday will be Death Knight Mouseling, Monday will be Elven Bard Bust. So Tuesday. So it'll be like almost 2 weeks till we get back to Turtle because I'm going to be gone for so long. Oh, you researched with Benita to confirm. Okay. Oh, okay. John's going to test some new stuff. Good. Yeah, keep these people under your wraps here, John. Like, gotta keep them engaged. Good. I'm glad you'll stream in my spot. That's great because then I have like a sub. I like having a sub. I mean, not that I go on trips every once in a while, but I don't take a lot of time off. But still, it's nice to have somebody to step in so you guys have something to watch and a Reaper peep to talk to. Smiting his tiny meeps and forceful headbutts. Aww. So cute. Now we really have to see. My guess is that SSC has a Pope costume. I think it's a couple weeks, Ulysses. Don't quote me on that. She woofed a little bit there, Kira, just when you put that up. one thing to remember that is special about sample colors when they're oopses is that often they have a higher pigment load because you're when you're trying to mix, you're trying to match the color, right? But if you're not matching the color, you're adding more and more pigment until you get to the point where you're just like, no, I can't continue to add pigment to this. I'm just going to sample it when you're getting diminishing returns. And so many of the actual oops colors, that's not just, colors we're doing to sample just because we have extra or something. But many actual oops colors actually are quite highly pigmented. Whether that adds to coverage only matters like if that color's pigments are naturally more higher coverage, right? But that could be why many of you like the oops colors so much, is that you are seeing that they're a highly pigmented color that's a little bit different, and you like that. It makes sense. Oh, okay, there is a pet Pope. Okay, well, you'll post pics when you get better pics. Okay, all right, so not the Pope. My guess is off. It's a good thing we didn't have a betting pool. I can't afford to lose money right now. I'm paying too much money for my marketing coaching. That's probably part of my stress too. I keep telling myself it's worth it. It's worth it. It'll be worth it, Anne. If it's not worth it, I'm never getting coaching again. Unless it's cheap coaching. Just doing a little bit more here. All right, let's get our white in here. Yeah, some samples, like in the past, samples have been anything from just like excess of a color that we're just trying to liquidate, or oops colors that we just like didn't do, that didn't quite match with the formulation, so we had to oops them. Or often if I was just messing around with making a new color and we didn't actually produce it, like I would end up sampling that color. Because I would often, when I had time, which, was a lot less toward the end of my tenure at Reaper, but I would always mess around with new ideas for colors when I had them, just because, Ron or Ed would always be looking for something for a con or for a special thing. So it was good if I had like something prepared, or like we needed Kickstarter colors, stuff like that. So edging those plates on the sides makes them come out. Now we will come in and I'm gonna reinforce my white, and I'm also gonna carry my white Oh, take care, Elixies. Bye! Yeah, cozy is a good descriptor for my streams. This book, too, the Sola book, the Three Favors book, definitely has some coziness in it. I'm sliding that way. So, I realized it was kind of going that way, and I don't think I'm going to fight it. So down here, I'm kind of putting these shapes in my light highlight instead of my white. When I glaze colors over the top of that, they're not going to be as bright as when I'm putting them over the white. But because this part of the shell is in shadow, it makes sense. So I'm going to see how this works, if it works. But it means that I can still get the feel of a shadow here, even though I'm putting in the texture marks, the design marks, because they're darker than white. but we'll see if the colors glaze across them satisfactorily. I'm going to actually blow my nose here. Ooh, I had to sneeze. Just little stuff in the air today. All right. Thank you. Okay. Now we'll get everything. We're getting everything mapped in today. So the remaining work thing I have to do today is get that contrast video up. It's free, so you guys get it a day early before I have to make it live on YouTube. The tubes of you. So now we can see those coming out down here. Kiki, enough. I mean, this is why base coats are boring, and I try to get through them as fast as I can. Because highlights and shadows are where it's at. So my brother's trying to organize a snorkeling thing for our Hawaii trip this winter to Maui. There's apparently a crater out away from the island that has some of the best coral reefs in it. But it's also, you know, like, there are sharks. I don't think I want to swim with sharks with no cage, even if they're supposedly harmless sharks. I think I would be a little bit heebie-jeebie. Plus, it's technically, like, ocean. Like, you know, it's in a crater, but you're still, like... Yeah, big white ones with lots of teeth. Yeah, see, I like sharks in aquariums. I like sharks from afar. I might even be tempted to do a shark cage thing. Like, it would give me the heebie-jeebies, but I would be tempted to do it. But, like, actually snorkeling at a reef where there are sharks... Even if they are sharks that supposedly do not think I am tasty. I don't know if I buy that, guys. The one thing that makes me kind of want to do it is that apparently every once in a while you get to see a whale shark. Like out on the ocean end where the crater is open into the ocean. There are whale sharks out there. Whale sharks are so cool. It would be almost worth it for the chance of seeing a whale shark. Yeah, see, that would get you to do it, right? Yeah. Way too many videos of the sharks getting into the cages. Oh, no. Yeah, but how dumbass was the person to get the shark to come in the cage? Like, I always wonder that. Like, is the person being a dumbass? So the shark is like, oh, okay. It's that way, is it? I don't have a camera that can do underwater, so. But I would love to see a whale shark. There's apparently another one. There's a beach that you can go off of, though, that has a lot, like miles or acres of reefs, and sometimes you get to see a manta ray. And that one is, being off of a beach, that one's a little bit more my speed. When it gets to open ocean, I start getting the heebie-jeebies. But yeah, I love whale sharks. Whale sharks are so cool. All right, we have our complete. Notice here, I'm gonna turn it. You can still see the light, right? Because of my highlights and shadows, even though like when I'm doing it here, you're getting some natural shadow. But when I pull it here, you can still see very clearly the highlight and the shadow light, like the reflected light down here, and the highlights are up there. And that's what you're aiming for with your highlights and shadows, right? If you want to create that artificial light and shade. Actually, I think I'm going to put just a tiny bit in this area. And on the other side, too. Ah, they chum the water. I see. And then they get crazy. Okay, that makes sense. Well, then I wouldn't do a shark cage. I've interacted with tiny rays. Except when they hit you with part of themselves, Tristanoma. I've read an account of being, like, hit by a turning manta ray, because it really doesn't care about you being there. But apparently, they can really clobber you. Like, you can get seriously injured. Because they are big animals. Yeah, yes, I've petted the rays at SeaWorld. That's what I did. It was cool. But yeah, I don't know if I'd want to be in the water. And manta rays are just creepy because they're so huge. But really cool. But huge. Oh, that's interesting. Carnico. Now you've scared me enough that I don't want to go on the beach. Oh, man. Now I'm going to be imagining the invisible shark. Going to go in the water, Ann? Nope. You sure? Nope. No water. Oh, that's awesome. Inspector Clouseau the Manta Ray sounds awesome. I'm going to try to hit that. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that with white. Experimenting a little bit here to see what I want to do. There's designs on these outer plates. If my parents didn't want me to be scared of the water, they shouldn't have let me watch Jaws when I was at an impressionable age. Just a little bit of designy stuff here. The patterns are much simpler out on these little areas. You just have to kind of figure out. They're very lightly etched in. You gotta go watch that to scare yourself. I think I'm gonna hold off. I think I'm not gonna watch it. I'll ask you to remind me of it after I go to Hawaii. Kuriko. So just little bits. This is looking pretty cool now, huh, guys? So I'm doing all of this with the highlight color, not with white. Because a lot of these little plates, a lot of them are in shadow or partial shadow. So if I do it with the highlight color first, this color, then I can go back and go over it with white when I am able to sit down and actually say, okay, this is in the light, this isn't. So I'm just trying to get over some of the patterns that I'm seeing. I can always clean it up if it's a little bit sketchy. Jaws is a great movie, and I'm glad I saw it, but it definitely has left me with a definite fear of the things in the water that are trying to eat me. Oh no, Kuriko. No, my parents let it run. I understood Nazis. It's interesting. Though I guess you had a European upbringing and maybe that makes a difference. But I had watched enough American media as a kid to understand like that these were the evil people, even if I didn't know the context. Speaking of The Sound of Music, if you like autobiography, I would very much endorse Julie Andrews' autobiography. It's called Home. I haven't looked to see... I guess I did look to see the... That's right, she did come out with the second one. I read that one too, I think. Pretty much devoured it, as a matter of fact. She's had an interesting life. Oh, and speaking of famous British women, Kiki, no, you're not permitted to bark over this, okay? Did you guys see, those of you who are British Bake Off fans... Hey, enough! That Mary Berry got knighted. Enough. Nope. It's my stupid dog. Yes, she is Dame Maryberry now. I was looking her up for something. I saw her in the news, and they mentioned her, and they said her name with her title, and I was like, whoa, did she get knighted? Knighted for Bake Off? It's way cool. Yes, she made a dame. She did. Very awesome. Kiki, that's enough, and settle down. Come here. The stream does not need you barking. They do not, giant hound. Yeah, it's almost time for your WAOK, but not yet. Mama's almost done sketching in her turtle shell. Bye, Crowley. Good to have you. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, it's a big commitment, those shows, because you know that once they take off, you know they're going to run for a while, and they do interfere with, like, whatever else you have going on, be that family or you know, other work that's important to you. Although I like the new, we're still watching the Great Pottery Throwdown. I think we're on season 3 now. I love the people on season 3, and the new judge is cool. I'm okay with her. Yes, her face when someone admitted that someone used Shotbot fondant. I know, right? Yeah, I just missed it because you know I'm not always looking up Maryberry. So, but for some reason I saw her in a headline, and so then that's when I noticed the title, and that's when I looked it up. And I thought many of you also, not being up on British royal news, might also want to know that, being Bake Off fans. I'm sure she was knighted for actually her contributions to baking overall and not just for Bake Off, but you know, it's kind of fun to think about being knighted for Bake Off. This one doesn't have much pattern at all. I love Pottery Throwdown so much. It's as good as Bake Off. Sadly, I think one of my favorites is about to leave. The one we're in, like, there are 8 bakers or 8 potters left or something like that. 8 or 9. But yeah, so that's our new show to watch before bed, David and I. Yes, it is soothing. I used to fall asleep during it too. But you should watch Bake Off some other time then. Bake Off needs your eyes. No, it doesn't. It's got lots of people's eyes. It probably does not need your eyes. I forget which thing it's on, which network it's on. The Pottery Throwdown. David would know. He knows if he wants me to watch something with him, he needs to dig it up and get it on the computer. So, left to my own devices, I would never prioritize TV. Bake Off wants your soul. Oh, it's HBO. Yeah, I like Pottery Throwdown a lot. I love what an absolute master Keith is on the wheel when they have him do the demo for the Throwdown. Like, holy crap, is that guy good? HBO or Max, yeah. Yeah, it's got a lot of seasons now. And by the time we're done watching it, we'll have another season of Bake Off. Oh, it's fine, Shadow Raven. Yeah, it's a good show. It's very wholesome, just like Bake Off. It has a very Bake Off vibe. Once again, just tracing over this in my lighter blue so that I can go back over certain parts with white once I've gotten there. It's coming along. We're almost done with all our underpainting. Yeah, we watched Forge and Fire a lot. We stopped watching when Will left. Like, we didn't like the replacement guy nearly as much, so we just kind of stopped watching that. No, not big on any reality TV. I wasn't at all before Bake Off, but I love the cozy vibe of Bake Off so much, and I love the personalities. That it's really the only, like, this and like Throwdown are the only TV I make time to watch, and only because like we usually watch it like while we're getting ready for bed. Just David and I watch things together. It's the only time we do. Because otherwise I'm just not a TV person. I really haven't ever been. We're almost there. We're almost done with all the patterns. I don't know that it's on his radar, Slayer. He hasn't mentioned it to me. He is a big Buffy fan, though. Yeah, you want a good drama? Yeah, interesting. I mean, it is, like, all that competitive reality TV is really, I mean, it's just, like, popcorn TV, right? Pure entertainment. Not gonna really, like, hit your emotions hard. I like reality shows where I can understand the skill required to do a certain thing. And that's interesting to me. I think that's why I like them. But I don't like reality shows that are just like Survivor and stuff like that. That's just like meh. Meh to me. All right. Yay! Look, guys, look! Yay! All the swirly squirrelies are done. Just in time. The bear lately. Oh, okay. David watches dramas sometimes. Depends on what it is. But yeah, so Now, next time we can look at this white, we can take the white, apply it on the sides, and then we can start putting all of our colors in to get more of that. Yes, the swirlies are done. And they look good. They look really good. So yeah, that's fun. That's been good. I like it. And then we'll need to do some moss, I think. Some moss and maybe some shrooms. We might have to go outside the brief for the shrooms and make them pretty colors like pink and purple and yellow. I don't know. Yeah, since Luca has not. If Luca popped in, I would have been like, oh no, do we have a Luca? But yeah, I totally forgot it was Wednesday. All right, guys. Well, this is the last time I'm going to see you for a while here. I'm off to Wisconsin. Off to Wisconsin to try not to eat too many deviled eggs and brownies and other Midwestern bad-for-you food. And, yeah. Yes, and I hope to have a safe trip. And, I will be back. You have to paint now. Yes. Indeedy. Yeah, I know. I need to send you / bring you boxes of books. I'm probably going to mail them to you, Michael. I actually I put it on my list today to look at my inventory in case I have to order more. Because I'm not sure what I got. Thanks, everybody, for the safe travels wishes. I always kind of freak out about plane flights, even though I shouldn't. But yes. Yes, hopefully it's not. It's going to be hot. It's going to be like 85 or 90 on the day of the family reunion. But there's shade at the park, so hopefully we'll be okay. Yeah, and John should be occupying my stream time. So I'll see you guys later. Have a great one. Quindy, as always, and Kuro, thank you for modding. Ooh, yawning. I'll try not to yawn at you too much. And I'll see you guys on Tuesday, all right? Unless I have a weird travel delay, and then I'll tell Quindy and she'll put it off. But Tuesday, unless something weird happens, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.